Hi, this is Laura Vega, a writer-director of The Secret. Very thankful and appreciative of being part of the Frida Kahlo Theater Part 3, Three Times the Charm, as I'm saying. Thank you for all the questions, and I'll be answering them in the order that I received them. The first one, it comes from Ramon Rios. Looking back, is there anything you would change or do differently? Yes, I would definitely study more on how content gets uploaded, different options for shooting via Zoom or that kind of experience, as it was very challenging. And also, if you pick film noir or black and white, you also have to work with lighting and you also have to create. So I was not able to do that because I was not in the spaces that my actors were filming in. So that's that. Second question is, what was the biggest challenge during the creative process as a writer or director? I think constantly the biggest challenge wasn't a challenge. It's something that I do quite well. I'm constantly adapting to whatever's being cast, whatever's going on. So creating with the limitations, that COVID-19 has given us. We took that shit seriously as far as the protocols. I wanted to make sure that my actors felt safe as I tend to cast very personally. These are friends of mine that I cast, and so I know that relationship that I needed for Veritas and Alathea had to be there, and I feel it was. So where do you draw inspiration? What inspires you? As some of you writers already know, and I'm sure this is true for you, I think being present and writing from what you know, being flexible, saying yes to everything that's coming in. And I think so that's what inspires me, is just what's going on in the moment. What's the experience, and what is it that connects us rather than divides us? And that's, tends to be where I like to live. And number 4, do you have rituals when writing? No, actually, no. I write anywhere where it's available. I tend to write on yellow Lego pads, and you'll see them all throughout my house with various different projects. I tend to write longhand, and then I transfer it to whatever device I need to transfer it to. Like, for example, I wrote Lockdown, the last piece that was at the Teatro FRIDA KAHLO this time last year, at work in about an hour during my lunch break on that computer, which is rarely. I don't like to write on the computer. I like to write longhand. I love the words, and I love how it feels, how the pen and pencil feels on paper. All right, so that was that one person. Suzanne asked the question, what do you want the audience to take with them when watching your play? I think the theme of this particular play is that family can mean different things. And oftentimes we don't think of our work family or our work comadres and compadres as family, and yet they are, because they are the ones we spend the most time with. They are the ones whose lives we share. They are the ones that sometimes help us, sometimes are there for us, more so than I would say some of our family members. And so that's what I hope to, that we all connect to that idea that some people at work, just like I consider some people in the theater, and especially at the Frida Kahlo Theater, as part of what I call my theater family. So we watch each other's kids grow. As the 2 actors that are with in the piece, in my piece, these are friends of mine for a very long time, and they will be lifelong friends forever. And they said yes, and I was very grateful and very honored to have the honor and privilege to work with them. Evita, Eve Mueller, and Leanne Shermer, who also work with the theater a lot. So that's one question. Okay, Sylvia has another question. What inspired you to write this play? Good question. I would say this play grew out of fear that my daughter would be left alone, of course. I have a daughter, she's an only child. And she's the youngest of all the grandchildren in the maternal side and paternal side. And so, there was that idea of if I'm not here anymore, what's going to happen, to her. Greatest lesson learned from writing during the pandemic or writing, be flexible. So, be flexible, trust your instincts, that's what I've learned. Is there a particular audience you write for? I think I write to connect with that which we are all experiencing, the commonality of the experience, so to speak. Especially today, the present day COVID, we are all pretty much collectively experiencing the same things in different levels, various degrees, and in various nuances. So that's the difference. Okay, Lucianne had, was this based on a true story? Good God, no, I'm not dying. Not yet, but I mean, I am dying. Eventually, we'll all die. It was based on an actual medical condition, a medical scare that I had, not dying, and it wasn't COVID. And yes. And so was the play, you also asked, was the play adapted for COVID? Yes, the play was something completely different. It was the same idea was there, but it was completely different. I added the pandemic to justify shooting on Zoom or taping, whatever it's called, on Zoom, and also keeping my actors safe. That was the most important thing to me. And my actors were not leaving their homes. Once they said yes, they're like, oh yeah, but we're not leaving our home, and you can't come over. And so it was interesting. So it was adapted to the COVID situation, and to be able to do this via Zoom. So that was it. That was that play. Andrew has a good question, which is a really interesting question. The names are an integral part of the play. When, at what point of the writing did you come up with the names? Interestingly enough, Andrew, as you may know already as a writer, the names, believe it or not, they just name themselves. I remember I started the story, and then for whatever reason, I went to the dictionary and I looked up the Greek word for truth. These people were not Greek. There was no mention of Greek in the beginning of this story. So I'm not sure where that came from, but I always go with whatever whispers I'm hearing from my characters. And then when I looked up the words, I saw Aletheia and I saw Veritas, and I go, wow, what interesting names. Maybe not for us, and I certainly wouldn't name a child that. But I thought that specifically, that we're writing about a secret, and they're not, what is everyone's truth? What is the father's truth? What is it, what happens when there's a secret? And, what is the truth? So I believe the characters when they speak to me. So that's what happened there. The name just kind of came in. And then you also asked COVID theme. Was a COVID theme? No, that was added. And again, that was added to protect my actors. So the whole COVID thing, and to adapt to Zoom, to taping, filming, shooting, whatever you want to call it, on Zoom. And again, the restrictions I had is that I could not be with my actors in their space. So I directed it from via Zoom, and they shot it in their own perspective space. And we took it from there. I did have an amazing content creator that she's the one that edited this whole piece. I felt that I would need an outside eye once it was all uploaded, or whatever, however you want to call it. This is so new, that I would need an outside eye. She knew the story, sent her the script, several rewrites. I had a dramaturg. One of my actors is also did a once over on the script, and again, even adapted it even more, and did a lot of stuff that I would consider a dramaturg to do. So I was very excited. That was Leanne Shermer. And also made it a little bit more conversational. It was conversational, but there's a lot of expository stuff that could not be fit in 10 minutes. It was a lot of explaining, a lot of, so you're trying to put together a life in 10 minutes. As we know, this person is going to pass away, and she has to say this, impart this very important secret that she's carried with shame all this time. So once again, thank you so much for your questions, and let's have a great break a leg. And when we go up, I believe March 8th, I'm very excited, looking forward to seeing and reading all your plays. I read all your plays, and I'm very excited. I had my questions, and I will be sending them to Ruben. If not soon, then I'll go ahead and ask them when we meet together in the virtual space. So as they say, see you Zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Laura Vega, peace out.